This isn't just another video, it's a deep dive into a digital revolution, and you're about to meet the woman rewriting all the rules. In a world where beauty standards are constantly shifting, one woman stands tall, confident, unapologetic, and boldly curvy. Her name? Loverlly Chanel. From the heart of the Dominican Republic to millions of screens around the world, she's not just posing for the camera, she's commanding attention, sparking conversations, and breaking boundaries with every post. But who is she beyond the lens? How did she build an empire of confidence, faith, and fearless femininity? And why is her voice resonating with a generation looking for something real? This video isn't just about fashion or fame, it's about the rise of a woman who turned her presence into power. So grab your headphones, clear your mind, and get ready, because once you meet Loverlly, you won't forget her. Let's begin. Before the spotlight, before the followers, before the world knew her name, there was just a young girl growing up in the vibrant streets of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Loverlly Chanel was raised in a culture rich with rhythm, resilience, and raw beauty. Her early life wasn't about flashing lights or camera angles. It was about family, faith, and finding identity in a world that often overlooked women who didn't fit into conventional molds. She didn't grow up chasing fame, she grew up observing the world around her, learning from her environment, and silently shaping the confidence that would later define her. Surrounded by strong women and guided by spiritual beliefs, she learned early on that strength isn't always loud, sometimes it's quiet, patient, and waiting for the right moment to rise. And rise, she did. It all began in 2017, with nothing more than a phone, a vision, and a quiet fire inside. Loverlly Chanel didn't explode onto the scene overnight. Her journey started the way many do, with a single post. But even in those early photos, there was something different about her. A presence. A raw confidence. A refusal to shrink herself to fit anyone's expectations. At first, it was just a few followers. A handful of likes. But slowly, people started to take notice. Her style was bold yet elegant, sensual but never desperate. She wasn't trying to be anyone else, and that authenticity became her superpower. She posted outfits that celebrated her curves, shared messages rooted in faith, and most of all, showed the world a version of beauty it wasn't used to seeing front and center. Her Instagram wasn't just a gallery, it became a movement. And as her audience grew, so did her impact. What started as a few hundred followers quickly evolved into a global fanbase. Today, Loverlly Chanel boasts over 3.3 million followers on Instagram, a platform where every post feels like a statement of confidence, femininity, and fierce independence. But her influence doesn't stop there. On TikTok, she's gained over 144,000 followers, sharing raw, relatable, and often playful moments that bring her audience closer to the real her. Whether it's behind-the-scenes glimpses or trending dances with a Dominican flair, her videos reflect her vibrant personality and cultural pride. And then there's YouTube, where she launched a more intimate project, a personal cooking channel, Loverlly Chef. Here, the spotlight shifts from the runway to the kitchen, showing another side of Loverlly that's warm, grounded, and just as magnetic. So how did she grow such a loyal following across so many platforms? She stayed consistent, true to herself, and never chased trends, she set them. Her secret? Authentic connection. She doesn't just post for attention, she posts with purpose. Fashion, for Loverlly Chanel, isn't just about clothes, it's about identity, attitude, and unapologetic self-expression. Her style walks a powerful line between elegance and edge, between femininity and fierceness, capturing attention not just because of what she wears, but how she wears it. Scroll through her Instagram and you'll immediately notice the duality she embraces. One day, she's draped in a flowing evening gown that channels old Hollywood glamour, glowing skin, high heels, and a look of quiet confidence that feels cinematic. The next, she's in bold lingerie, posing with the same grace and pride, not to provoke, but to empower. Because for Loverlly, showcasing her body isn't about seeking validation. It's a form of liberation. Her wardrobe choices are deliberate. Each outfit tells a story, one of bold sensuality, Dominican flair, spiritual grounding, and a deep comfort in her own skin. She knows how to highlight her curves with pieces that flatter and elevate, whether it's a tailored two-piece, a silk robe, or a streetwear ensemble with oversized layers and sharp heels. But her true beauty lies not in the fabrics, but in the confidence she exudes. She's not afraid of the gaze, she owns it. And by doing so, she invites other women to do the same. To take up space. To celebrate softness, boldness, roundness, sexiness, all without apology. Her fashion isn't driven by trends. It's driven by truth, a personal vision of womanhood that's not dictated by size, race, or rules. That's what makes her different. That's what makes her unforgettable. In a world where influencers often present one-dimensional versions of themselves, Loverlly Chanel dares to live in contrast and thrive in it. One of the most striking things about her isn't just her appearance, but the message behind it. Amid bold outfits and high-glam photo shoots, one phrase appears again and again in her captions, her bios, even her spirit, Dios ante todo, God above all. To some, that contrast might seem unexpected, even conflicting. But to her followers, it's precisely what makes her real. Loverlly doesn't separate faith from fashion, or spirituality from sensuality. She embodies both, fully and without apology. Her posts often include verses from the Bible, reflections about purpose, strength through struggle, or subtle reminders that all beauty and confidence flow from a higher source. This spiritual thread weaves itself through everything she does. Whether she's posting in lingerie or evening gowns, there's a reverence in how she carries herself, a quiet message that says, I know who I am, and I know whose I am. It's this duality, bold visuals paired with deep, grounding beliefs, that draws a diverse audience to her platform. Some follow her for her fashion, others for her confidence, many for her authenticity, but a growing number connect with her unapologetic embrace of both faith and femininity. In doing so, she reminds women everywhere that they don't have to choose between being powerful and being soft, between being seen and being spiritual. For Loverlly Chanel, style may be what draws people in, but it's her message that makes them stay. In a digital world often ruled by filters, angles, and unrealistic expectations, Loverlly Chanel stands out for one powerful reason: she shows up exactly as she is. And that authenticity has become a beacon for thousands of women who have long felt unseen, uncelebrated, or unworthy in traditional beauty spaces. As a proud curvy Latina, Loverlly has made it her mission, intentionally or not, to normalize what's been unfairly labeled as different. She embraces her body with grace, confidence, and most importantly, joy. Her photos don't just highlight her curves, they celebrate them. Her poses, her wardrobe, her energy, they all send the same silent but radical message: you are enough, just as you are. In every post, she chips away at the narrow definitions of beauty that have dominated for decades. And in their place, she builds a broader, more inclusive vision, one where softness is powerful, where stretch marks are human, and where confidence isn't reserved for a certain size. But it's not just what she shows, it's how she makes people feel. Scroll through her comments and you'll find real voices saying things like, "You inspire me to love myself again. Thanks to you, I wore a dress I was always too scared to wear. You remind me that beauty has no size limit." These aren't just followers, they're women reclaiming their space. Women who see in Loverlly not just a model, but a mirror. A symbol that self-love isn't reserved for the few, but a right for all. Through her bold presence and unfiltered pride, Loverlly Chanel is helping to reshape the narrative around body image, one post, one pose, and one empowered woman at a time. Away from the bright lights and curated feeds, Loverlly Chanel lives a life that feels remarkably grounded. Her online presence isn't just about glamour, it's about realness. Through candid clips, behind-the-scenes stories, and unfiltered moments, she lets her audience into her world, one laugh and one prayer at a time. There's a playful energy that runs through her content, a spark in her smile, a carefree rhythm in her walk, and a genuine love for the simple joys of life. Whether she's dancing to a song in her room, cooking a favorite dish on YouTube, or joking around during a shoot, her vibe is clear: she's a woman who enjoys being alive. But beneath the fun is a layer of emotional depth, and that's what makes her truly magnetic. Loverlly often reflects on her blessings, speaks about purpose, and shares messages of faith that feel deeply personal. It's no surprise that she frequently references God, gratitude, and inner peace in her captions. It's all part of who she is. As for her personal life, Loverlly keeps it private, and deliberately so. She hasn't spoken publicly about any romantic relationships, and there's no public partner in sight. Why? Because right now, her heart seems fully invested in her mission, building her brand, empowering women, and living with intention. There's something inspiring about a woman who isn't rushing to fit into society's timelines, who's content with her journey, her passions, and her pace. In every story she shares, there's a sense of authenticity. She's not trying to prove anything, she's just living fully, and letting the world watch her glow. Is Loverlly Chanel just another Instagram model, or is she something much bigger? Through bold fashion, fearless self-expression, and a deep connection to her faith, Loverlly has carved out more than just a brand. She's created a message. A reminder that beauty comes in every size. That faith and sensuality can coexist. That confidence isn't about perfection, it's about presence. She's not chasing approval. She's building identity. And that's exactly what makes her different. In a world full of filters, she's a dose of the real, raw, radiant, and radically herself. Here on Gorgeous Models, we don't just showcase beauty, we explore the stories behind it. And Loverly's story? It's one of growth, strength, culture, and courage. So now it's your turn. What does Loverlly Chanel mean to you? Is she just a rising star, or a symbol of a generation that's ready to break the mold? Drop your thoughts in the comments.